Hey everybody, it's Pamela from Call Time Atlanta, and I am so excited today because I have a very special guest for you. Susan Fronsoe of Actors Consult is joining the show today, and she has so much good stuff to share. She really has a lot of knowledge that comes from a background in acting. She was also an agent with Atlanta Models and Talent for 4 years, so she has a lot to share with the Atlanta entertainment community. Before we get into the episode, though, I want to thank our sponsors. First, I want to thank JP Marston of Actors Taping Services, which is where I am right now and where we're taping this episode. I'd like to thank Kyle Rollins with Mammoth Solutions. Mammoth Solutions is a digital marketing and branding agency. They are Call Time Atlanta's new partner. I'm very excited about our partnership, and I look forward to doing a lot of good work with Kyle and with Mammoth. You can check them out online at mammoth.solutions. And now let's get into today's episode with Susan Fronsoe. Susan Fronsoe, owner of Actors Consult, thank you for coming here today and being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm very excited about having you today. You've got a lot of good stuff to share, so I want to get right into it. Can you start talking about your consulting business?
Yes, I have been consulting actors for about 2 months, and it actually came to me one day. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do after I left Atlanta Models and Talent, but I really kind of thought I was going to get out of the business and get into some nonprofit work. Did some research, did a little bit of nonprofit work, and one morning I just kind of had this epiphany that with the experience that I've had in this business, that I could actually be an asset to the people in Atlanta, and really trying to work with different groups of people, from high school kids to college kids to people just getting into the business, people moving from other markets coming in, and explaining how this market works, because it is different from Los Angeles. So I've been doing about 2 months now, and it's been going great.
Great. So you have Actors Consult, and I looked on your website. It looks like you work with new actors, and maybe actors who are already established who just kind of need to raise their game a little bit. What exactly do you do for them? So if I were to go into your office and say, help me out, I need a lot of help, what would you do?
Depending on every actor's level and where they are in the industry, first things first is I make sure that you've spoken to your agent if you have an agent, because I am working in concert with them. I do not want to be telling you anything that they wouldn't tell you.
Right.
So first things first would be make sure you've talked to them. A lot of the agents are really busy right now, so I think having me be able to explain really all the ins and outs of the industry, how it works from an agent's point of view, that gives you power. I would take a look at all your materials. I would look at what you're marketing, see if I feel like it is synced. If it's not, then I give you my opinion as to where you can raise your game, and see where it is you want to go with your career. And I think that's part of the struggle with actors in this industry, is that it's a difficult industry. It's very difficult, and nobody has the magic word, nobody has the magic answers, because anything can happen and nothing can happen.
Right. Yeah, you can be in this business and audition and audition and audition, and you may not get cast, and it may or may not be something you're doing as an actor, but there are certain things that are within your control.
Exactly.
So you mentioned you would look at somebody's materials, like their headshots, if they have a
demo
website.
reel website, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of times people, again, at different levels, think differently of themselves, and they also think that just because they've booked something, they need to show everybody, but the quality may not be very good. Their acting may not be enough to really show.
Right.
So there's no point in putting it out there.
How have you prepared for this business? You were an agent yourself.
Yes.
So that gives you obviously a lot of insight into what agencies are looking for.
Right.
Is there any other preparation that you had to do to open this consulting business?
Well, I worked in production. I actually worked in advertising got into production while I lived in Florida, then started acting. So I was an actor for 20-something years. And I think that I understand. I still kind of consider myself an actor, I guess. Some people have said once an actor, always an actor. So I guess that's possibly true. And then I was also a manager in Los Angeles. So I think I have a pretty wide experience level of all the different facets. I have seen a lot and heard a lot of actors' journeys, and also sitting on the agency side, especially in the Atlanta market. Again, LA and Atlanta is a little different. I've been able to see what it is that works and what casting needs, and that's the biggest thing that I think I can bring to it.
What have you seen actors struggle with the most?
I think actors struggle with themselves the most, truthfully. I think it's, and again, I speak from personal experience, that you have to be in a place where you're very solid about who you are. You're doing everything you can from an actor's point of view of what you need to do to progress as an actor. You have to have really a good self-worth, because obviously no is the most common word. And so it's... I've seen some actors who have said, a class that I took in Los Angeles, an acting class when I was acting, and she was a friend of mine. She took a class, saw herself on camera, and she was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Really?
And she quit. She did some theater, but she never wanted to see herself on camera again. I was like, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've seen some really wonderful experiences of brand new actors in Atlanta getting some amazing opportunities, and that's exciting. I know one of the questions you probably will ask me is, some of the great things that I've experienced, and that's truly. On the way here, I was thinking at least three or four people that popped up that was like
brand new actors,
brand new actors with training and maybe one credit, and the opportunity that opened up, it was it was their time.
So how does that happen then? I've been an actor for 4 years, and I've worked. I mean, it's not that I haven't been casted in anything. I have, but I haven't had a big break like that. So what happens?
Well, in this case, it was the specific role that the actor was really right for. And it was, one was just purely, I think it was a gift. This description of this actor was this actor.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, there's nobody else going to book that role.
Right.
This is this guy's role.
Yeah.
And it was. And he was supposed to have gotten cut from the show.
Oh.
They knew he was planned for a few episodes, and they liked him so much they kept him around, which was really fantastic. Another one was the fearlessness of this actress. She would be willing to do anything.
Yeah.
And including nudity, including she was playing drug addicts, and so, which is not easy at all,
Right.
but she was able to put herself there, and she actually got 3 very nice roles because of it.
Good.
And yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So I saw on your Facebook page that you posted about Alison Brie. Is that how you say her name? Alison Brie. She has a role on Mad Men that was supposed to be a bit part at first, and it turned into a breakout role. And now that you're talking about these other actors in Atlanta, how often can we really expect that to happen?
From what I understand, it's happening more and more, which is really fantastic. Thinking about this business this morning, obviously before this interview, and I think there's a big piece that's missing that I feel like I don't want to necessarily go into detail about quite yet. But
with Atlanta actors?
With the industry.
Okay.
The industry. Because of the fact there's a lot of really great actors here. There's a lot of really great trained actors here. There's people moving from Los Angeles. And, because the production is here in Atlanta, there's a mindset that, it's the day player roles, it's the supporting roles. And I don't quite understand that, because it's like if a lot of times it's the bottom line, which is money. Why aren't they giving the Atlanta actors the opportunity, even just the opportunity, to audition for some of these roles? And so I was actually going through the breakdowns and pulling out some of the LA breakdowns to see how often does that happen on a show. How often is a guest starring role or a series regular or whatever coming up? And it's not very often, truthfully, on TV shows, but usually it's the beginning of the season. They will either obviously put the series regulars out there, or they'll put the recurring or the guest star roles. There's no reason why Atlanta shouldn't be getting a piece of that. And so I think that's what we all have to aspire to. I think that it's a possibility it can happen, which is exciting, because, I mean, we can only go up, you know?
Right. The industry still is maturing here, I think.
It is, very much so.
We're not quite there yet, but...
I mean, it's changed so much in the 4 to 5 years that I started at AMT to now. It's changed a lot. So, and I think if everybody just keeps adapting to those changes and going with the flow and accepting what is, which is what I'm learning about in my personal life, which is difficult. But I think we'll get there as long as everybody takes it as seriously as the LA people do.
So do you think that there's a tendency here to not take it as seriously?
You know, it's interesting because I think people don't understand the way okay, I was an actor. I moved to LA twice. You move 3,000 miles to go. I was from Florida for a career. So you are serious. And you're going into a market that's twice as expensive, maybe not right now, but as expensive as Atlanta. So there's a whole different mindset to it. Here, a lot of people started here. The industry has been growing with them. And it's the little details that I think that actors don't realize how important it is. I was on a panel last week, and now that I'm not on the inside of the agency and I'm on the outside, I'm consulting with people, I see kind of a different perspective.
I see.
And I listen to the frustration that the agents had about actors not paying attention and not paying attention to the details and not confirming and not doing things that you would never have happen in Los Angeles because it's so much of a business out there. It's about the money. And if you're not doing what I need you to do, if you're not bringing in the money, you're gone. And here, it's not that way. However,
not yet.
It's getting because a lot of the agents, the ones who are more established, have been getting frustrated because of those things. So it's like, if you're not going to do what I need you to do, go to another agency, because now there's a lot more agencies here in town.
There are more opening up. I've found, I mean, I won't give away too many details, but it's not my place to, but I have found that sometimes I will get emails from my agent with, just like big bold letters and highlights and read everything. And I guess they have to do that because some people still are not reading the instructions. And I just find it, I'm a person that I will cross every I, or cross every T, and dot every I. And I'm like, I don't need this spelled out for me, but...
And you have to realize that it's not for you.
I'm trying to be delicate here. I do realize it's not for me, but I guess that speaks to where we're at still.
And it's kind of shocking, especially coming from perfectionist people that we are.
Yes, we are, which is a great segue, because I wanted to ask you. Actually, I will ask you about that. One more question on this, however. So we know what kind of the issue is, the challenge is. How can we be more prepared for what's coming? What can we do?
I think the biggest thing is continue training. There are more people also moving into the area. I think people have to be really careful about where they're taking class, number one, because there's more and more people deciding that they are qualified to teach, which I kind of disagree with. I hate to say it. And of course, I'm not going to say any names either. But, but there are some people also coming in from Los Angeles wanting to not take advantage of, but take advantage of the opportunity that's here. And if they are at a level that we all need, great, So I think training is the big thing, and getting into that mindset. Like this career can be long term here, but it takes everybody.
Right.
And that's the thing. If we're all in this together, we all have to follow the rules.
Right.
Those rules that are set. Usually, there's no rules in this business, but those things that are important that do make a difference.
Sure.
And we've heard of actors who are getting hired on productions and then actually getting fired, and that's just heartbreaking because it looks bad for everybody.
Right.
Again, that's I think the challenge of casting. When casting directors aren't necessarily in the room working with people, they're hiring people off a tape, and they could have worked for 2 days or a week on it. Well, probably not a week because we don't get that much time anymore.
Right.
But anyway.
But yeah, we usually get a day or two advance notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could have done 80 takes
Could have.
by the time we submit it. Hopefully it doesn't take that many, but
Right. Right.